Hey friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a demo, I believe, of the Colored Rain Beauty Rust palette. I had this eye look on during my Pat McGrath Liquilust lipstick review and swatch video. One of you had suggested that I do a tutorial using these eyeshadows, so that's what we're doing today. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up if you want to see more demos using the Colored Rain palettes. Definitely let me know down below which palette you, sorry, I'm gonna close this door. Let me know down below which palette you want to see next. I have all four. They were running their Black Friday sale that week before Black Friday. It was like Black Friday week. And I picked up all their palettes because they were on sale. We have the Lovelies, the Very Cute, and the Smoke Show. I've used all four and they are all beautiful. The shimmers, the mattes are exquisite. Maddie! As you see, I'm in Maddie's bathroom again. I am dog sitting and this is my new favorite spot to film when I'm here. Again, let me know which palette you want to see from me next. Maybe we'll do a 2-in-1 to knock them out faster. But before we get there, let's get on the beauty rust. I've already done my eyebrows, prepped my lids, and done my complexion. All those products will be listed down below. Here is the Beauty Rust palette. I will put the price up here next to me because I forgot how much it cost during the sale. We have, out of 6 shadows, 5 mattes, and 1 shimmer shade. I keep forgetting how beautifully smooth and easy to blend Colored Rain mattes are. They are probably my favorite mattes I have ever used. I don't know what it is. I mean, and I have a lot of favorite mattes. I love ColourPop shadows. I love Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows. And every time I return to Colored Rain mattes, I'm like, dang. I keep forgetting how beautiful you are. And you'll see how effortless they are to blend. It's just, they melt into your skin and give a beautiful radiant effect when layered over top of each other. And again, I'm doing the look I had on for my Pat McGrath video. I'm gonna recreate that. I also did different looks using these same shadows. One that was less smoky, maybe more smoky, but we'll get all into that. The first shade we'll use is Natural, and this is with a Morphe M505. I'm gonna start working that into the crease. I mean, already, it's like, that shade is gorgeous. These are very powdery in the pan. I'll give you a little close-up, especially this shade here. This could get really powdery. They don't apply powdery on the lids, I have to say. They blend out really smoothly, and I'll deal with the kickback because if it's gonna blend like this on my skin, then it's easy to overlook. I start pulling it out just a tiny bit already. Get that shape going. Placing a little more, and then on my left line. This shade by itself is gorgeous, and it doesn't look like that in the pan. It's fascinating when you start applying this on your lids. It takes on a warmer profile because in the pan it looks a little pinkish nude. Possibly will apply cool, but no, not at all. It's a little gray outside. I'm sorry if the lighting is off. Not the most ideal situation right now, but I'm gonna make it happen still. Next shade we have is Recharge, using the same brush, and now we'll apply that to the outer and inner portions of our lids. You see what I mean? It doesn't take any effort at all, and look how beautifully that blended in with the first shade. I mean, it's the way they combine, and they don't look muddy and they don't look textured. And then I'm like, why would you bother buying any other matte? And I still buy all the other mattes from all the other brands because I'm curious. But yeah, man, I would be okay using these palettes every day. The only reason I would not is just to try other color schemes and stories and to mix it up. But in terms of experience, this is by far one of the most extraordinary mattes I will ever use. I always have my bigger fluffy brush on hand to go in, smooth out the edges. Oh my god. And also the tones of this palette, because it is warm, as you saw. I just love the burnt. You'll see the darkest shade when we apply it. It gives the whole look like this burnt red berry look. It's not just orange and browns. It's the undertones of these shadows are very unique, and I don't know why, because I have a ton of warm shadows, as you know, from my videos that I filmed. When the whole look comes together, it's really beautiful. I'm also pushing this to my lower lash line because I want this to be very, very smoky. And it's all about the layering, especially when you're blending a lot, which you should. You want to go back and reapply so that it looks saturated and not too faded. Yes, we're coming in with this shade as I'll buff that into the edges. The thing is now, you'll notice these are the darker shades. I found if I were just to use natural, then I'll use Nighty Night, because when you'll see when we apply Nighty Night and then Dusk, Nighty Night kind of disappears, and it's just because they're both deep shades, and the Dusk shade takes over in terms of it being the defining shade. I'm gonna apply Nighty Night first, and I'll take a smaller brush. This is a Luxie 231, and with the Nighty Night shade, we'll start building the depth onto our outer V. I think it sets up a nice foundation for the deeper berry shade, the berry red shade, but you'll see the brown hue of it will disappear because that dusk shade will just take over. And you can stop here. If this is as deep as you want to go in terms of creating contrast and depth on your outer V, you can. I just want to use all the shadow. And I have it's my RayeRaye palette. I'm going to use her, well, I already applied bronzer, but I'll still use a little bit of her contour powder. And I'll just film a separate video reviewing the palette. The mattes are very dusty. They apply pretty well. I have to play with it more to get a better idea of how I feel about it. I love the brush set. The brush set I'm a fan of, but we'll get more into that when I film. Today is all about color RAINE. Look how beautiful that is. That's a really nice. The shade itself, it's a deep neutral, almost borderline cool brown. But it doesn't look muddy on the warmer shades. It's really beautiful. And now, Dusk. With the same brush, you're gonna see what this is gonna turn into. It's gonna really deepen this up. Give it a nice, reddish, deep color. Look how that changed. I mean, it's beautiful. I always have a paper towel or towel on hand to wipe off my brushes, because when I just need blending and not more color, I find that having or going in with a clean brush helps prevent the muddiness from happening and just ensures that we're creating a nice clean shape and not adding more shadow when we don't want it. How does that look so far? I'm telling you, I don't know what it is about these shades. I'm just gonna keep applying because I'm speechless. Right now at this point, I'm combining Nighty Night and Dusk together, continuing to build my outer V, and taking just Dusk to my inner portion of the lid to add a little more depth there. My Luxie 231. I think the Nighty Night gives a nice setup for the V. Because even though the dusk shade takes over a tiny bit, I feel you can still see the brown hue of Nighty Night. I think it still works. Using the edges of the deeper shades and starting to pull them out a little more, just a tiny bit, because now we'll apply that mustard shade to the edges and make it really like boom. This mustard shade, Daisy, so unique. I applied just this and Recharge. I got so many compliments, received so many compliments because it was very simple, but the colors are very saturated and they have great impact even just using those two alone, which makes it a very versatile palette because you can go super easy daily, use 2-3 shades and have a beautiful eye look without having to rely on 4 or 5 shadows. And we are applying several today so you can see more in action, see the whole palette in action. That's pretty much why I'm doing this. But if you were to just use one, you saw how beautiful natural looked on its own, this shade here. Just a beautiful warm smoky eye, punch in a nice metallic to the lid, or just go all matte and it's a look. You gotta look. Here we go, Daisy with my Morphe M505. Very lightly, because look how much I've been grazing the edges of this shape. I love Daisy because it added such a nice smoky touch to the look without it getting out of control. It's a beautiful shade. Just trying to lift the tail end of this point a little more because sometimes it goes down and that's my fault. I kind of lose direction sometimes when I'm blending this side, but for the most part it's doing okay. Because remember those times when it just looked a mess? I'm taking some of my foundation powder, grazing the edges of this side, cleaning it up a bit more. Deciding to take a little more Daisy to the inner portion of my lid, grazing near my brow bone. Or nose. That's what I meant to say. Hello, face parts. Oh, so pretty. If you wanted a little more, you can go in with a pencil brush or even an angle brush to your lash line. I think I might want to do a wing. I'm not too sure yet. But first, let's punch in this metallic color Dream. It has a little bit of glitter in it. It's a rose gold shade. I have to be very careful because I am wearing contacts and sometimes the glitter particles get into my eyes and dry out my contacts and they feel uncomfortable during the day. No worries. Right now I have my Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, which I know, how dare you. I got this during the Black Friday sale because I've been wanting to try it for a long time. Was very intrigued with the fine mist thing. And I have to say, I kind of like it. I just wish they sold this in stores. I'd have to pay for their shipping. Using my 234 Zoeva shader brush, applying Dream, taking my setting spray, and the setting spray got in the mirror. Pressing, not swiping, so the shadow doesn't fall on the face. I forgot to mention while applying the mattes that I did not experience any fallout. It doesn't look gray there. That's a good sign. Even though there's a lot of kickback in the pan, just as long as you kick off the excess before you go in on your lids, I think you'll be fine. Because you saw how much shadow we applied and none of it ended up on my face, so that's great. Isn't this such a gorgeous shade? I mean, it has a lot of dimension to it. It's brightening and it has pink, orange, gold in the mix. It's just a lot going on and I'm living for it. Also, what I've been doing with my eye looks is taking, whether it be the same shade I have on my lid or a different metallic shade with a pencil brush also with some setting spray. I punch that to the center of my lower lash line, almost like a corresponding halo, if you will. I got the halo on the top and the halo on the bottom. I've been doing this a lot. I love the effect it brightens up my lower lash line. And again, I'm not taking it across, just to the center. And we're not done. I have some ColourPop Super Shock shadows that I want to apply on top of the colored rain shadow because I love the glitter effect, but without it being full on super glitter. I don't need to grab the glue. I just rely on the formula and it stays because I don't have time, okay? I'm taking my Anastasia brush from one of her palettes, and with Recharge, yeah, I think Recharge first, blowing out, smoking up the inner portion of my lash line a little more. You know what? I'm taking Nighty Night and Dusk as well. I'm trying to make things happen here. Creating smoky brackets, if you will, around the shimmer shade. I think it has a lovely effect. This looks really great. I'm loving how this is turning out. Helps that I did it once, so it kind of served as my practice round, you know what I mean? I want to add a wing because I've been loving the wings again ever since I got rid of my extensions. I realized how much I miss them. Whoa, that was a big wing. Oops. It kind of always happens though. I would have preferred it to be more straight rather than curve, but I'll take it. It's fine. I'm shocked that I actually made that happen on camera without leaning against something, which I usually have to do. There we go. I'm like using my face. I'm leaning against my face to refine the shape a little bit. That's a little better. I'm gonna just keep on going. I'm gonna do this other one off camera. I'll be right back. I applied the wing, went ahead with mascara. My use Too Faced Better Than Sex waterproof. And now let's finish up a Z face. Just so you can see, I'm using it's my RayeRaye face and eyeshadow palette. Is that what it's called? The color eyeshadow highlighter and contour palettes. That's what it is. With the shade Mocha, surprisingly deeper than it looks in the pan. So it's a nice contour shade for tan skin tones because it's on the cooler side. And I like how it's been applying with my other bronzers. It doesn't turn muddy because a lot of times when it's neutral in tone or cooler in tone mixed with warm, it could get a little gnarly on my face. See how much depth that added and how light it looks in the pan? It's a nice surprise. To cut under my cheekbone a bit, clean that up, taking my Makeup Forever highlighting powder in H108, brushing under the contour and the bronzer to clean that up a bit. Just want to carefully use my powder brush here to buff out the bronzer and the contour powder, making it just a tad bit softer because I went in with a lot because I was trying to see how it looked, but I don't want it to look so harsh. Why not? Let's use her highlighter, her Rayediant. You get it? It has glitter in it. It kind of reminds me of the eyeshadow that It reminds me of the eyeshadow we applied. I'm taking my A23 Anastasia Beverly Hills brush with Rayediant. It's a really nice highlighter. I have highlighters that are a little smoother in texture. The color, though, is really beautiful on tan to deeper skin tones. It gives off that golden hue. Even though it looks pink in the pan, it reflects gold, so that's really nice. And then we're taking Moonlight here, but just to the highest points of the cheekbone here. So, okay, give off a little more brightness to the nose. Now, I want to try these Burt's Bees blushes that I just picked up. They were like $11, $12, a little expensive for drugstore. And I guess you can get this in drugstores, so maybe it's more accessible in that way. And they are blushes that are more expensive. But I was just curious because the packaging is really cute. The ingredients are clean. It has jojoba oil, no talc, mica. It's made in the USA. It's cruelty free and all that good stuff. I don't want to do... What do you think, friends? This is toasted cinnamon. Let me lift the lid. It's kind of hard to see with the glare. This is toasted cinnamon, and this is the peach one. Bare peach. Maybe bare peach. Toasted cinnamon, I think, will be really nice for a colorful eye look because I have a lot of warm going on and I don't want to look orange. Let's try the bare peach with my Morphe E4. I'm gonna punch that in, see how it goes. That's nice. The texture is very creamy. I'm curious to see how this holds up throughout the day because I love how it blends onto my skin because it's not very dry. The flush that it gives me is gorgeous. I love the hue. Okay. Who knew? Burt's Bees. Hello. Realize that I don't have the ColourPop shadow, Super Shock shadow that I usually apply to my lid using the Beauty Rust palette. You know, I'm gonna leave it alone. It looks fine. The shade is beautiful. How about I use the same shade with my pinky just to punch in a little more sparkle? You can do that. That's fine. Take Moonlight to my inner corner. Now we'll spritz, or mist, I should say. That is quite refreshing, I have to admit. It's really a pleasure to use. I know it's Morphe and they're tied to a lot of BS, but I at least like their setting spray. I usually like to apply my mascara to the lower lashes after setting spray, just so there's less risk of transfer. For lips, what should I use? I have so many options. Like, I need to go a little taupey, and with that, I'm combining my Kat Von D Everlasting Liquid Lip in Bow and Arrow with Pat McGrath Labs Fen Modern. If you want to see the full kit, all the swatches, I'll link that video down below. This is light on its own, but with another shade, I think it works. And with that, then with Femme to the center of my lips. With Cork from MAC. Yes, that was great instruction. What are you saying? Just the outer edges. The Femme Modern kind of gave the lip a pinky. It's a little too pinky for me. This is what it's about. It's experimentation. We don't know until we try. ColourPop's Ultra Matte in Take a Pixie. It's more terracotta in nature we're gonna just change the whole color story here. That's a little better. I think we can deal with that. Fantastic. All right, friends, I think that's the finished look. Let's quickly go through the swatches. The swatches: Natural, Dream, Nighty Night, Daisy, Recharge. Okay. Lastly, we have Dusk. Here are all the shades from Beauty Rust. I'm a fan. The color story is extraordinary. Something about the undertones of these shadows, I think, provide a beautiful, warm, smoky eye, but without relying on the orange type of warm shades like the Morphe 3502. I think that's a very orange sort of palette, but this, for some reason, it's very burnt red, especially with this mustard color, which I think is very unique, and when in combination with the other shades, I think it just gives a beautiful, warm, smoky eye. Let me know down below if you have the Beauty Rust palette or any palettes from the Color RAINE mini palette series, and also include which palette review or demo you want to see next. I can tell you right now, hands down, I've used all of them. I love all of them. So yeah, the next one won't be a review. I'm going into it already loving it. More of a demo if you're wondering how to apply the shades, different inspiration with the colors and all that good stuff. Thank you again so much for watching. I hope this video helped, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And until then, I'll see you on here again with another review, get ready with me, chit chat, or demo. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.